All right, this is Frank Keeney, and I'm with Ryan Hansen, and we're going to talk about some of his experiences with the Keeney Ecommerce Mastermind. I want to start off with the we were just talking a little bit before the call, and he said that that before he started in the Keeney Ecommerce Mastermind, he was struggling to make profitable sales and also having trouble with the scaling. Is that right?
Yeah, we were. Matter of fact, we had hired an agency and we had worked with them for a month, and they got us like $50 in sales with $2,000 in spend. And I signed up with you, Frank, actually before that contract was over. And then, and then after that, we've been profitable actually ever since. We had a good foundation to start off, and it's been working for us. We're really waiting to scale because we're out of inventory. So.
Okay, well, that's a good problem to have. I want to talk a little bit about that, about agency. So you're not unique in that. I've had many people in my mastermind that have had exactly the same experience. They think, okay, well, that Facebook thing is just way too complicated, and I don't know how to make an ad. And the first thing they do is go to an agency and start spending a lot of money. And in so many cases, at least those that I've heard, it's either that break in or barely breaking even, or they're just not making any sort of profit at all. And it sounds like that was the same experience that you had.
It was, yeah. And everything there regarding adjustments to the ads, it's very slow. And
okay.
So it's hard to work with them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right. So now you said that right now your ads are performing well enough, or at least so well that you can't keep up with getting the inventory from your supplier. Is that still the case?
Yeah, it is. And we actually had switched the way we were labeling the product. So part of it is our fault, but it's a good problem to have. We didn't actually expect to run out of inventory quite as fast as we did, but it's been really cool. It's been a great experience, to be honest with you.
Good. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's partially our fault that we're out of inventory.
Okay. So now you had this product that you want to sell. So primarily, are you looking? I think you've got a couple of different businesses, but you want. What was your primary reason for, you've got this product that you want to sell? What like personal goal did you have to do with that? Is it you want to switch away from something else, or you just wanted to grow this business because you're very passionate about it? And of course we all want to grow a business so we can have more income to do the things that we want. So tell us a little bit about about getting that going real well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a combination of things. I've always kind of wanted to learn Facebook, and I decided to use a new business and a brand new product to get started on it. And then I wanted to take what I had learned and adapt it and use it on our other businesses. It was to expand so that we can, of course, grow all the businesses. And the one that I had started, in this case, there is a cause behind it. So for every product we sell, we donate to veterans in need, because I have a business partner. It's actually a friend that used to work with us, and he became a business partner, and he's a vet. So he works really closely with those guys, and that was part of the reason we had launched in the niche we did with the product that we started out with you in. And to be honest with you, I had been growing with Google AdWords. We've been growing with the shopping network and a little bit on Amazon. And I just wanted to find another avenue of customers, and Facebook seemed to be the right answer. And so far it has been good for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And tell everyone a little bit about how you found out about me, and what was, like that one thing or two things that was really made you take some action and join up.
Sure. So I can't remember exactly now where I found out about you, but I had been following you for a while, And, the ads were very persistent. So I kept on coming back. And obviously, since you kept on advertising, I thought, man, he's got to know what he's talking about. And I've been following him, doing his work. And I just thought, there's no better time than now to try this out. So I took the leap back in, was it August now?
Okay.
Or it was before then, wasn't it? But yeah, it was after following you for a while, Frank. And I guess I shouldn't have followed for so long. I should have just started earlier. I would have actually saved some money.
Right.
And part of it might have been because I was afraid that if I took on something else to manage, maybe I wasn't going to get it, or I'd just buy it and not participate. But the course made it very easy. And honestly, the weekly calls got me jump started very quickly. It was extremely valuable to have those.
All right. So
it's accountability, I suppose.
Yeah, the accountability. So that's a comment I've heard from many that I've talked to on interviews like this. So with the weekly calls, I know it gives you accountability, but of course you have to show up to the calls to get that. At the same time, what kind of feedback were you getting from me on your offer, on your ads, on your video ads, and so forth?
Oh, well, we got really honest feedback. That was probably the best. There's no sugarcoating it with you. So it was always, well, you just adjust this, or that definitely doesn't look good. So try something else, or try this. It was nice because every time you gave us a suggestion, you pointed me or my partner and I in the right direction. It wasn't just blindly saying, well, just change this. You literally tell us what to change and what sequence of things to change, and what to try. And that made a huge impact, or a huge difference, because we didn't have to guess or try to kind of learn. We were learning the entire time, and we still are, but your input was very directional, and it helped us a lot. Okay,
fantastic. So when you first started, do you remember the first foundational steps that I shared with you, and what they were, and like how that worked with you?
Yeah, well, the very first thing was simply get started. I know we were saying, oh, we don't know how to film this, we don't know what to do, and you said, just do it. You got to get a video up there. And then once we got out of that, or over that hurdle, it was picking our groups, building our avatar, and then figuring out what markets or people we wanted to target and test. And then after that, it was monitoring and metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was really how we got started. And it sounds simple, and I guess it really is. When we break it down, or the way you break it down, it's really simple. So yeah, we started with just simply taking action, creating a video. We did use the template, which was extremely helpful for writing the ad copy. And then the templates that you gave us for finding the groups of people, those helped a tremendous amount. Sometimes I just didn't understand how to find those people, or I didn't understand how to do the research on Facebook to do the right targeting. And the course that you gave us and the templates that you gave us to find those people helped out a lot. Narrowing that audience down really helped us take off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when you're putting together an ad, it's not just a video. It's not just a product. It's having multiple things work together to make the whole thing work. You have your ad copy, and then now you've got to show that ad to the right people. And that's, from what you're saying, the templates and the training for the audience insights really worked out well for you.
Yeah, they did. Matter of fact, I still go back to those. We're doing some ads now for the other businesses that I have, and I go back to those videos just to get a refresher on them, to be honest with you. Go back through.
That's fantastic. That's great. So what was your biggest obstacle that you were able to overcome through, my mentoring, whether it's on the group calls or on the ongoing support that we do through like Skype and so forth? What would you say is like the biggest obstacle that you were able to overcome through this process?
Honestly, just the fear of getting started. Don't know why we took so long to get started. I get I started in e-commerce a long time ago, but I just started Facebook now.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me a different paradigm to look through. Basically, I shifted my thinking and just started to use Facebook as a tool rather than one of those inconveniences or something that I didn't know. I just didn't know if it would work. And you got me started. And after that, it was, now it's just fun to grow.
Yeah.
It sounds too simple. Like all you had to do is get me started, but that was really it.
Well, and what I often tell people is, okay, so, what's where you are right now, and what do you need to do to get where you want to be? And now when we've got you have something you want to promote as a product. So now all you need is that video. And so all it takes is just really you're one video away from something that you could scale to, 7 figures. And so it's just you may have that product, but you have to get started, and then you have to do it. And then in the mastermind, you have I provide a lot of personal feedback on those kinds of ads to get you up to the point where it's profitable as quickly as possible. So that's, I'm very excited that you're telling me this, because this is exactly what I am trying to do for you as well, is to make sure that you're getting the results as quickly as you can. And okay, so I know I know you've got several businesses. So what sort of, you give me a kind of I know that you haven't been able to keep up with your inventory, but what sort of, you went from where it was not making money. Give us some ballpark numbers that you're making even with the restrictions on the inventory. So like maybe your best couple months in the last year. What kinds of numbers did you have with those?
Yeah, sure. So we started out with nothing, and we do sell on Amazon as well, but Amazon was kind of slow also. And when we started selling through Facebook, Shopify sales picked up obviously almost immediately. And then our Amazon also shot up, which they coincided so close. They were so closely related. It was hard to say that the Facebook advertising didn't have an effect on that.
Yeah.
Because it really has. And we have a really low dollar item. It's under $20. It's actually under $15. But we have been able to do over about $15,000 a month in sales from nothing, just in the 2 months since we really launched this thing.
Okay.
And it's not huge. It's not the biggest business that I have, but it's definitely one that has the potential now to scale once we figure out, how to get our labeling and bottling and everything taken care of. And the other cool part is it's consumable, so it's a product people reorder.
Right.
That's what we're really, really excited about with this business.
Right. So what's the number one transformational thing that you got out of the Keeney Ecommerce Mastermind?
Transformational thing. Never quit. Keep testing. Always keep trying.
Right.
And don't be afraid to just try something new. It might sound like you might think we always put these judgments on things like ideas or things to test. And once we get rid of that, we just start trying them. Right. Even if it takes someone telling you, hey, you just got to go do it. That's been the most transformational thing that I've gotten out of the course, Frank. And it's helped me in the other businesses, even off of Facebook advertising. Just try new things.
Well, and I think what you just said is probably one of the biggest things that people have a difficulty to overcome when it comes to doing anything. You have to try it, and often the fear is there. It's very, very strong. But it's pushing through those kinds of things where you see big transformations happen and big changes in people's lives.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. When I started out in e-commerce, it was SEO. That's how I got started, and then Google AdWords, which can take some time to learn and then optimize, and then shopping, of course, which gets more competitive every year. But when you do something like Facebook, you see results that are much bigger more quickly, that you really couldn't anticipate, like we did it years ago. It just took a while. I mean, when we started campaigns or businesses years ago, it was, 6 months to see a little bit of traction in the search engines, then a year, and then you started to build your search engine ranking, you built your catalog, and it just took time. And now you can really test things and products and ideas in a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
all it takes is one.
Also,
one ad, one video. I mean, my preference is to do video ads. They tend to work the best, especially on Facebook. But all it takes is one ad can completely change a business or your life. It can be a big transformational event when you can go from small dollar amounts a day in budget and small amounts of profitable sales, then take that. Once you've got it profitable, then you start scaling. You spend more and you make more, spend more and make more. And that's what, what we really focus on in the mastermind is getting to that point where you've got something, get it to the point where it's profitable, and then scale it. And then once you go through that process, it's much easier to replicate it when you kind of see how all those pieces work together.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't see it at first, it can be discouraging, or you'll just doubt yourself. But once it starts working, I mean, it's a real eye opener.
Right.
You just wonder why you didn't start earlier. You wonder why you don't try to build more videos every day, because that's the other thing. We're not producing video at a pace that we'd like, but we definitely want to pick that up because we want to test more and more and more of it. With your guidance, we were actually able to produce a couple of video ads. I think we only did 4 revisions, and then we launched. And after that, Frank, we had profitable ads. The agency did not do video for us. They didn't even suggest it. They just did image ads. Those totally failed. Comparing the metrics of those to the video, it was night and day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my experience now for the last few years is when making sales, like that's sales from a cold audience. It's the videos outperform everything else on the Facebook platform. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you can get them to see a problem they didn't even know they had, I mean, it's really golden. You got an awesome opportunity there. The interruption marketing is so different from search marketing because you are only there. Typically, you're only there in PPC to give them exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
And so that's
right. Well, it's all. I mean, what I try to highlight in my product sales, my video ads on Facebook, is what it is. Yeah, solve a problem they didn't have, or show something unique about that product that they didn't know. I mean, that's the real quick.
Yes.
The real quick answer to that. There's a lot more to that, but it's that I always try to highlight the uniqueness of that specific product that I'm promoting and what it can do for the customer.
Yeah. And sometimes if you have a different perspective on the product and you have a way to relay that message to the customer, you can tap into a different market with a product that already exists, and that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
It's just you looking at the product in a different way.
Yeah, very, very well said. That's exactly right. And it's leveraging those is where, as a marketer, I look at Facebook as a true marketing platform because we need to understand our target audience. It's not just a matter of, okay, I've got this widget and then I'm just going to, while I'm setting up my ad set, I'm just going to pick something on the fly real quick. But there's a lot of effort and thought, and I think a lot of empathy for your prospective customer to understand who they are. It's not just sticking 50% off today and here, come and get this thing.
Yeah,
really understanding who is going to consume your video ad and the kinds of things that may be beneficial for them.
Yeah, that's a good point, Frank. And the one thing that I always sold things in markets that were a little bit more higher end, and this product itself is at the higher end of the market, and we do not offer any kind of gimmicky sales. There's no 50% off. There's no 20% off. It is only, we're just selling the facts and the product's performance. That's really it. There's no need to, and I think it's just a downward spiral when you start to do this anyways, is to discount your way to sales.
Right.
It just doesn't seem to work.
Right.
Long term.
Right. Well, yeah, and like we talked a little bit about writing the ad copy, is having some copy that resonates with your target audience, have some emotional connection with the words and what the product can do for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes a huge difference. And that's one thing, like on Facebook, I guess my perspective of it was always, it's kind of like for sales things or the latest, hottest trend, but you can sell something that is you could sell anything. Honestly, you could sell anything there. Right. It can be an old product or a brand new product. And you can make it work. You do have to put in the time and the research and do the testing, but you can do the testing so conservatively that you can't say you can't lose money, but you can't almost fail if you're willing to try and follow some direction. Follow the directions of those who have made it, like Frank. It really works. So, and as we implement this in the other businesses, we'll continue to keep you updated on this. But so far, we've been able to grow those businesses, and we're looking forward to growing them even further. With Facebook.
So what's your number one piece of advice you'd give to others that are watching this video?
Don't wait. Give it a try. And don't give it a try. Literally just do it. If you do it, it's going to work for you. Know that you got to put in the time, but don't be afraid to try something. Just do it.
Okay.
It works.
And so what would you say to those that are starting to want to scale scale their e-commerce businesses? What would you say to those people that are in that place?
Well, I would tell them to remain focused. There's so many different avenues for marketing, so many different avenues for traffic. Focus on one, get that to grow, and stay there until you get to a point where you can either you're at market saturation in that channel, and then start to explore another one, or hire an expert to possibly run that field for you, or have your partner or train someone to focus on just that marketing channel. So when you're getting started, you want to scale, you focus on one thing. There's so many things out there now. You can grow on all the platforms. They all work. But you gotta focus on one. If you try to do them all, they're all a little bit different. You're going to get analysis paralysis. That's what I get. And then you just end up with nothing. Right. So yes, remain focused.
Right. Yeah. It's important. I completely agree with you. It's important to master one thing at a time. So many people they say, okay, look, this Facebook thing is it just doesn't work. And they skip to Google, then they skip to this and skip to that. Yeah. And then, by the time they kind of come around, someone else is telling them that Facebook is great. And they try that. But, it's the shiny object syndrome. It's important to work exactly what you said, is to go from, A to Z with one and get that working before you move on to the next one. Because they do, all of them work, but, do it one at a time.
Yeah. And that's honestly my best piece of advice. Because when I started, I focused on one channel, but there were fewer channels at that time. Right. And now there's just so many of them. So.
Right. All right. I want to thank you very much for jumping on this call today. And we look forward to seeing a lot more success from you.